All right, everyone, welcome to Psychology 101 with ITM. Let's see if we can break some things down, get you guys in the right mindset, figure some things out here that are going wrong or going good. Maybe you're seeing some results that are super awesome and you don't know why. Maybe you're seeing results that you know what you're doing wrong, but you just can't get a hold of your emotion. You can't get a hold of what you're trying to do, and you're just convinced that you're doing something that should happen but is not happening. So, this is how we're going to break it down. We're going to go over just a few things I'm going to talk about, which is pretty much emotions, because emotions play a huge role in trading. And also I have some notes on the side. Just your either lack of discipline or too disciplined. They can both hurt you and help you. Um, Basically, if you're too disciplined, if you're way too on edge, way too not risk on, you will miss a lot of moves, which is safer in a sense. It can help you become less adherent to losing, but it's also going to make you grow slower, which I know we're not here to just make pennies. We're here to make some money and make some differences in our financials. So we want to be disciplined, but in a certain type of balance. And that comes along with emotions. When you're trading in a market that you have no control over, the only way to control your emotions is to really figure out an if-then statement on your trading bias. The only way that you're going to feel confident in what you're doing is if you can calculate the risk to reward, the chances of something happening over just winging it and saying this is going to happen because it's going to happen. You don't want to hope in this market. There is no hope. The market doesn't give a shit about you. The market doesn't care about me. They don't care about hedge funds. They don't care about anyone. People get hurt every day hoping. Um, Maybe I'm the only one, but I can't hear a thing. Trades for fun. Maybe reset. Hope is not a strategy. Exactly. Trades for fun. Reset Discord. So, in order to eliminate the emotional part of this, is you've got to be willing to lose to win. You have to be willing to lose to win. I've said this a million times, and I'll say it over and over again. But if you're not willing to lose to win, then you shouldn't be trading. It's just part of the process. We are going to have losses. We are going to have wins. I'm hoping we have bigger wins than losses all the time. Sometimes you guys see me in some big losses, but the difference with me and you guys is that I've been through a lot of ups and downs. I've been through a lot of things with trading, and I've been doing this for almost 11 years. So I have some emotional calluses to say that I can control, and things that don't really damage my mindset during a trade because of my overall bias of what I'm trying to do or the risk that I'm willing to put on in order to get what I'm wanting out of the market. In order to control your emotion, the best way to control your emotion is to know what you're going to do. If you are going into a new environment in your life, you're moving to a new city, you're doing something new, just completely new, getting a new job, it feels scary because there's a mystery behind it because you just don't know what is going to happen. But let's say you're getting a new job and you have a friend that already works that job and you get some insight from them, you're going to have less emotion going into that job. You're going to be more excited to go and do that job because you know what you're up against. You know what you're going to be working with, and you know the direction that you need to take in order to apply the right mindset, the right moves, the right everything towards that specific job. So trading is also a job. So you need to go into this job knowing what can and can't happen. You need to go into this job knowing how to execute on a chart. I mean, candles are going to tell you one thing, and yeah, you could get on here. I've seen a guy, he's the chicken trader. He's passing prop firms, getting payouts from a chicken telling him what to do. If you guys have seen that guy, it's hilarious. Look him up on Instagram. But if you're just clicking buttons, you have a higher chance of just losing, and you're just gambling at that point. Might as well just go to the casino. Casinos are fun, but You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know the outcome. That's why you go, because you could hit it big or you could lose it all. It's one or the other. With trading, it is one of the biggest casinos in the world, and it's at your fingertips. The difference is that you can have a strategy. In a casino, you don't have any strategy. On the charts, you can have a strategy. You can have set losses, you can have set profits, and you can really control what you're trying to do. And if it doesn't go in your favor, you can try again because futures traders, with being on futures, you can trade a million trades in a day, which I don't recommend, but you can take as many trades as you want in a day. What I want to explain is that what I want to enunciate to you guys is you don't want to marry your trades. Yes, the market went super high today. The market skyrocketed, but the chances of this happening over and over again are like 5%. It's not going to happen like this all the time. We will, my best days for trading are when it chops, when it goes up and down, left and right, whatever. Not left and right, but to the right, up and down. Those are my best days because those are my best setups because I can take my setups out of those trades. So it's more difficult when I'm trying to trade, just something that just keeps going up or keeps going down because I can't get an exact model for what I'm trying to trade. I'm sure you guys have seen other traders say, I didn't trade today. And you're like, well, why? Like the market has gone up 600 points, but they just didn't have their setup. They're doing exactly what they're trying to execute on every single day. They just didn't have their setup. So for me, if I don't have a setup, it's hard for me to take a trade. And if I am going to take a trade, it's either going to be a different type of setup that I'm willing to take a higher risk on than when I'm usually able to take a risk on when I'm trading my normal setups. And we can get into my setups. I can tell you guys a little bit more about that. I know a lot of you have seen it and a lot of you are new. So I can show you some different things. But the best thing that you can do for yourself is if you see no trade, if you see nothing coming in for your setup, no matter how high it goes or how low it goes on your bias, shorting or buying, it doesn't matter. You will see me sit here for an hour and a half and take no trade because my setup's not there and I'm just not confident in my trade. You have to be disciplined in knowing when and when not to trade. There's some days that are great to trade, there's some days that suck to trade. There's some days you don't want to trade at all. But I know a lot of you on prop firms, a lot of you have to meet certain types of thresholds you have to meet. Same with me. But if you're on your personal account, it's a little bit different. You can step away, you don't have to make what you need to make. It's all different. But with prop firms, there's there's certain criteria you have to meet, so people are trading every day. That's what also screws them up. So to put it best, to put it bluntly, to make it easy, just to tell you straight up, if there's no setup, do not trade it. Your emotions will be more subtle. Your idea and your mind, you have it's like a battery in your brain. You have a mental capacity, you have a mental capital in your brain or a hard drive, whatever it is. You only have so much room in your brain per day to put information in, and then it starts to strain you. You start to get overloaded. So if there's nothing there that's clear, don't take it. And if it's clear and it goes against you, have the right setup so you know what you're willing to lose in order to gain what you're willing to gain. And if it continues to move in your direction, you can tweak your setup and you can do a trailing stop, you can do trailing everything, whatever you want. But if it's not there, don't take it. If it's not presenting itself, don't force it. Because once you start forcing it is when you start getting anxious. And if you start forcing things and you start winning, then you're going to force something that's going to end you up and end up with you losing a bigger amount than you've gained. And I've done this many times. I've lost more than I've gained in a day at certain times, especially on my personal account, because being too I'm being too excited and I'm feeling overconfident because I just made 5, 6, 700 bucks or $1,000 in a couple seconds. I get overconfident. And that's when you have to check yourself and be like, okay, why am I feeling this way? Should I be feeling this way? What do I do to prevent it? And how do I stop myself from being overconfident in order to not lose? Because a lot of you are going to get payouts within my Discord. A lot of you are going to get them. And once you get that payout, your confidence level is going to shoot up. You're going to be like, "Whoa, I just got 2 grand from looking at the screen. I can do this over and over again. I just got to do this, this, this." But your confidence is going to skyrocket, but you have to stay humble. You have to continue to understand that you're still at zero and you're just piling money into your bank account, but you need to always come back to the day as if you're at zero. You need every day is a new day. Everything is always new. So does that make sense to you guys on a little bit of emotional control, a little bit of understanding how to control certain things that are out of your control, but able to refine it and control what you can. You can only control what you can control. Does that make sense to y'all? You guys understanding that? What are you guys struggling with? If you can type in the chat, what are you struggling with the most when it comes to trading? What happened to my I don't know why my Discord's not showing up now. What the hell? I just had this Discord so perfect and now it's not showing it. I don't understand. Where the hell is the Discord screen? I'm trying to get this up here so I can. Oh, let me fix this really quick. Delete that. Add macOS screen capture. Discord. Okay. Uh, uh, okay. Not how I want it. Hold on, guys. Just give me 1 second. Filters. Filter. Crop pad. Where'd that just go? Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to fix this. Um, okay. There we go. That's better. All right. So we're talking about what are you struggling with? So let's go with the first one. Abe. One of my main issues is the timing of my entries, trying to understand when to invalidate and confirm my trade ideas. Also, discipline in setting stop loss to take profit, but always got stopped before the move. Okay, so Abe, something that you can work on, which I've told another trader in here, is something that has worked for me as well. It's hard to do it because you're afraid of missing, but the best thing you can do is wherever you're seeing your stop loss at, let's say you have your stop loss, uh, I don't know. Let's say you see this setup, you see a lowering channel, with a 1 hour resistance and support, you're seeing a breakout, but you're like, okay, like I'm going to like because we do these lowering channel breakouts, you're like, okay, I'm gonna enter in when we break out and we look to be holding above this 1 hour. Like I'm gonna set my entry at 887. Okay, that's great. Now, what happens if this 1 hour doesn't hold because you need more data? Why not just go ahead and set your entry more towards the retest of the channel or hypothetically at the last support. You need to look at the different factors that you have on your screen. So if you're looking at a breakout long and you're like, okay, I'm going to get in long, then you enter in at the top of these candles at 891, and it comes back against you, and that's an 11 point drop, 10 point, what is that? 893 to 881. That's a 12 point drop. Now, and you're like, oh shit, that just went against me. I'm down 10 points. I'm in one NQ. That's $200. Fuck, like that's a huge, huge loss in my profits. You're going to get scared and probably get stopped out. So instead of chasing anything, you don't want to chase these. I miss moves like this all the time because I don't want to chase, because I've seen this happen so many times. I've seen where the market comes down, attempts to break out, is hitting the top of the parallel channel. It does break out. Then old me would chase this. I'd be like, okay, it's going higher. But new me would be like, okay, well, we have a support here. If we don't hold this support, are we going to retest the channel? And if we retest the channel, what is the likeliness of this pushing higher? What do the previous candles tell me? And the previous candles are telling me that there is some buying pressure here, especially on the 1 minute. Buying pressure, some profit taking, then it breaks out. So you just need patience. That's the biggest thing, is just being patient and be willing to miss the trade. Just be completely willing to miss it. Because if you go for every trade that looks like a good setup, you're going to get burned on one of them. So you just need to be patient. Today, I did the same thing. I got into a long and I got in early. Difference is that I was willing to lose a lot more on that certain type of setup just to see it recover. And that's exactly what I did. I was down $1,000 and I ended up making 350 or so dollars, maybe a little bit more, because I kept selling my position as it kept creeping higher. But the best thing you can do is just be patient, wait for the setup to appear, and wait for the setup to confirm. And there's going to be no one saying like, okay, it's confirmed, like it's 100% confirmed, because it's never like that at all. You just want to wait for your obvious setup to happen. My setups are longing lowering channels and shorting rising channels. So for me, I would be looking at this like, okay, it's starting to break out. I missed the long there. What do we have? A 4 hour resistance. We broke back down. Okay, that push was not that strong. Came back down to the daily. We bounced off the daily, which I didn't know that it would be bouncing off the daily. I can figure that we can get a bounce play there. That's probably what I would shoot for if I was trading in this market right now, is a bounce play off the daily. But that this big correction right here is a little scary, because I don't know if there's going to be more correction on this. But instead, we bounced off the daily and we recovered, and now we broke out of the parallel channel and came back to a different type of support. So I'd be willing to wait out of this. I'd be willing to wait in order to capture this, because you could have done it over here as well. You could have gotten long over here and just been holding and holding and holding and holding, and then you get burned on this push down. And that's exactly what they did to the longs. They just burned them. But if you were trying to attempt a breakout here, your first take profit, depending on where you're at, your first take profit is going to be the next resistance. That's my trading plan. That's how I go about it. I don't go for a huge move. You'll probably never see me capture all of this. Maybe on a runner, you might see me capture something like that, but or even like this, you might see me on a runner. But it's hard. It's really difficult. It just depends on what the candles are showing me and if you get lucky or not. So that's one way to figure out timing of your entries. ZK and Thomas, they've been practicing with stochastics as well and momentum, which is a little bit more in depth. But stochastics and momentum, because my timing has been a little bit off as well. It still works, but it's been a little bit off. It could be better. Stochastics give you a certain type of curve, a certain type of reset on when and where this market might take a turn for the other side, going long or going short. I'm not going to get into stochastics right now because I'm still learning it. I'm still trying to figure it out completely. I'm still trying to get used to it, but we can talk about that later. Yeah, so Sean, you don't want a strategy hop. What I'm trying to teach you guys is something simple, something that a 2-year-old could do, because it's just all pictures. It's all graphic. It's all pictures. There's nothing more to it. I'm just trying to teach you guys exactly how you can make this as simple as possible. Instead of using all these different ICT, whatever the hell you're trying to use, don't use those. There's no point. I mean, you can if they work for you, great. But stick to one strategy, continue to learn what I'm doing. I mean, I'm obviously like, not to give myself put myself on a pedestal, but I make money. Like I can make money. I can afford living off of trading. So if you want to learn from someone that is live with you, that is consistently here, just continue to learn my strategy. It's super simple. And if you need me to make like a blueprint of the strategy exactly, I can take a day and I can work on it and post it up so you guys have it. But just as soon as you
Boss
start,
man, you're doing wonderful, man.
huh? Uh,
I am kind of driving right now, man. You're doing wonderful. I've been watching you for like the past week and a half now, man. You're doing great. You're
I
doing great.
appreciate it. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. But yeah, you don't want to constantly strategy hop. It's gonna make you question what you're doing because one strategy is gonna say something and the other strategy is gonna be counteractive to it. So there's differences with how you view strategies. So you want to be careful. Omo, what cutting losers when knowing it's a loser and not just a pullback for the real move. Well, that's something that would having a stop loss would help you. Just having a set stop loss and nothing manual will help you. Because even if you get chopped up or you get wicked out and it goes your direction, don't feel bad. At least you had your risk on, and at least you had a way to get out of that risk if it goes against you. Remember, making money in this market is not hard. Losing money in this market is really easy. Both of them are not hard to do. But the difference is it all comes down to marrying the trade. You don't want to, you're not going to be living your life with that one position for the rest of your life. Every day is different. Every section of the market is different. I don't care if NQ is at 5,000 or NQ is at 25,000. I don't care. Either way, my setup is going to appear. It doesn't matter where it's at all. It's going to appear. That's why I'm confident to come back every day to trade because it's going to appear. It will be there. At some point in the day, it will be there. And I will be able to grab a hold of it. It'll appear probably 50 times in a day. Maybe it only appeared 2 times in a day. But if it appears, I try. I put risk on. But I'm not going to put risk on if it is something that is not something that I like. There are times where you guys see me like I'm going to take this breakout long. That's because of the momentum shifting. That's because of I see all these buyers on level 2 coming in and I have more in-depth data. But I'm trying to share that with you guys with simplicity by just showing you enter here, exit here, that's it. You don't have to look at any other information. You don't have to look at level 2, you don't have to understand anything else. You can just go off of what I'm doing and you can take it. That's what I'm trying to do for you guys, make it easier. But Omo, what would help you is having a stop loss. It would definitely it will help you. I know that this market is wiki, but maybe do a I mean on Apex you have to have a 5 to 1. So for every 10 ticks, you can only have a 50 tick stop loss. So that is really it's really pushing me to make better entries because I don't want to get wicked out of my position and then be in a loss so then it go my way. I don't want to do that. Now, this can be fluctuating because you could be down like I was today, 1,000, but then I need to make at least 200, which I made like 350. So the 5 to 1 was still good for me. So it can be if you're willing to put on the risk and willing to hold, you can keep these ratios in place, but you got to be willing to lose something in order to win. You have to. Thomas, how to trade days that grind in one direction because there are less channel breaks. Wait, let me scroll down and see if you guys are saying anything. Even a broken clock is right twice a day. Uh, let me keep going. Thomas, how to trade days that grind in one direction because there are less channel breaks, so I sometimes only get like 2 entries. Yeah, so Thomas, that's the same thing I was just saying before. It might show up. It might show up 2 times a day. It might show up 50 times a day. Some days you hit the jackpot. Some days you got to sit out. Sometimes you got to do it. Um, Also, what might help you guys as well is whatever time frame you're trading on is the amount of time you hold the trade. If you're trading on a 1 minute time frame, you're pretty much holding that trade for 1 minute. If you're trading on a 5 minute time frame, like look at this 5 minute right here, this parallel channel, lowering parallel channel. I'm really quick with making them. But this lowering parallel channel, if we got the breakout on the 5 minute, we would be holding this for damn near 5 minutes. And this is a whole 886. That's a whole 35 point or so move right here. So if you're on the 1 minute, just remember you're holding that trade for 1 minute. And if you get lucky and it goes farther, congrats to you. But on a 1 minute time frame, you're holding for 1 minute. On a 5 minute time frame, you're holding for 5 minutes. That's why I have my 1 minute and my 5 minute open. Other than on my Trade Evade, I have my 100 tick open for certain types of more uh, fine-tuned entries. That's what I like to do. But on a day that grinds up or a day that grinds down, it's hard. It's one of the most difficult days to trade for myself. Some people, it's really good for them because they like to marry that trade, so it works really well for them. But it doesn't happen all the time. It won't happen all the time. We just had so many green days in a row, and then we had one grind down, and now we're all the way back, even higher. So it's insane. I don't know if Kill You. I don't know if TradingView has a trailing stop. Um, I'm not sure. I don't trade directly on TradingView. I just chart on it. I mean, I probably could set certain things, but uh, yeah, I don't know. I don't trade on TradingView, so I don't. I just use Tradebit at the current moment and Webull. So generally, when I'm doing good on a contract, it doesn't allow me to just close out one contract or TradingView, and there isn't. So on TradingView, if you are trading on TradingView, let me log into my Tradebit. One second. I'll show you. I'll show you. So on Tradevate or on TradingView, if you have your shit connected to that, if you're in, let's say, two MNQ contracts, you can go to this top. Like if you're in two, you can go and just do one and then sell it. Or you can go in here and you can do um sell, you can do create new order, and you can just do how many you want to sell or how many you want to buy. And when you're in a trade, you can change that. Yeah, yeah, you can drag your stop loss throughout the trade for sure. Let me continue with these questions. Can you guys, what is my camera low? What do you mean low? JMLO. Can you guys hear me all good? See me fine? Very low resolution? For real? Really? Oh, what the hell? Should be. I mean, I have OBS virtual. I don't know why it's so low resolution. Let me see my. I don't know. I mean, I'm recording the whole thing, so if anything, just watch the recording. Can't read the questions. Well, on mine, since it's recording, I can read all the questions. You guys can read the questions in the damn chat. Don't worry about that. I'm recording the whole thing, so it's high resolution over here. So don't even worry. When I post it up, you can rewatch it if you need to reread things. Sorry, y'all. I know I've got a beautiful face, and I know you want to see the full thing, but too bad. I'll have to fix it at another time. I'm using OBS. Yeah, it's all recorded, so it's high resolution on my end. So I don't know. I thought it was clear at the beginning, but I see it now. It's not very clear. It's all right. Let's keep going. Let me see. Let me see. Yeah, Thomas. He said the 30-second rule I gave him was amazing. Yeah, that's just all about timing. So I forget what I even said to you, but like take like be in the trade for 30 seconds and get out. Like profit is profit. There's a reason I keep my name as Take Profit because I like to take my profits. I don't care where it goes. I just want to take my profits and be done. Get in, get out. Don't look back. Don't think about what it could have, should have been. Doesn't matter. As long as you took your profits, you're perfectly good. Uh, Lack of discipline is my main issue. How do I make myself be disciplined? I thought of hiring my wife to stand beside me with a baseball bat. Might be her dream job. I do make money, but I give it all back like a 5-year-old gambling addict. So greed is gonna eat you up. Um, if you aren't understanding that this is not a sprint, that this is a marathon, that you are needing when you compound this money together and consistently compound, it is going to make a difference. You're not going to be up. $1,000 in one day and then be up $10,000 the next day. It's you might, I mean, you might, I've done it, but you might, but I'm saying most people won't. Um, and the reason for your lack of discipline is because you're not waiting for your B plus A plus setups. You're not waiting for them. You're taking C and D type setups, and you are just thinking it's going to go in your favor. It is gambling. If you're not being disciplined, you might as well gamble. You might as well take your profits and go to the casino and put it on black or red. That's the best thing you can do. I've done it, and I made something out of it. Going to a casino is really fucking hard to leave the casino. Going in and making money is damn near easy. Leaving the casino with the money is super hard because you're like, well, if I just do one more spin, I can double this. That's where most people lose, is they can't get out. It's an addiction. They just can't leave. You have to have self-control. If you have self-control during your day, if like I wake up usually every day at 8:30, usually. I may sleep in sometimes, like the other day I did. I was just super tired from the day before, but if you have some type of discipline in your life, if you have an animal or you have a routine, you eat breakfast in the morning, whatever you do, stick to it and be consecutive with it. Be consistent. Continue to do that. If you wake up and the first thing you do is watch TikTok, stop doing that. Get off TikTok and do something that is worthwhile. Do something that is going to make you feel. First thing you want to do, just get up and brush your teeth. Just do that. Start having discipline, get up, brush your teeth. Because I'm sure some of you might get on here and brush your teeth 2 hours later, which is fine. I'm not calling you nasty or anything, but fucking just brush your teeth and get into the routine of getting up, doing, executing one, two, three, and then starting your day. And if you could do that over and over and over again, you will find discipline in the small things, which will give you discipline in the bigger things. You have to be consistent with all disciplines in your life and not just being disciplined in certain spots. I mean, if you have a good relationship, you know why you have a good relationship. It's because you understand the other person and you're disciplined to know how to act and how to be in a cohesive relationship with that other person. The relationship won't work if you're just different every day. If you're different every day, it's going to get hard. If you're different with showing up to work every day, you're going to get fired. If you're disciplined and you continue to show the same steps every single day, you will see progress if you stay disciplined and you follow your plan. Just got to follow your plan. That's the best thing you can do. A seeker. That's just find any discipline that you're lacking in your personal life and try to build on that. Try to enforce that. Try to like I said, for example, brushing your teeth in the morning first thing. Because some people don't, they get up, they drink coffee, whatever. I drink coffee in the morning, then I brush my teeth. But the thing is that if you just get up, just set a timer every day, an alarm every day, get up at that exact same time. You're going to feel good about yourself, no matter if it's summer or winter. Get up at that same time every single day, and it will build a habit. So just continue to build those good habits, and they will continue to build on other habits. Yeah, but if you can lower your size and exit at like $200, you have to lose 10 times in a row. At least I only lost 200 instead of blaming my account. Yeah, 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 yeah. My only issue is losing multiple bad entries in a row, then at least to a blown account. So Abe, um, losing multiple bad entries in a row. So that all comes with same thing, discipline and timing. You're getting in too quick, you're FOMOing in, you're chasing something, and you're not having the correct strategy in order to um, in order to stay in the trade. If your problem is that you're getting wicked out too much, that your stop loss is too tight, downsize half the amount that you're using. Half the amount that you're using. If you're using one NQ, use 5 MNQ and double your stop loss. So if you're using one NQ, for example, you guys might be using less or more. One NQ, stop loss is 10 points. That's $200. If you use 5 MNQ, stop loss is 20 points. It's $200. If you're using 2 MNQ, stop loss can be 40 points, which is close to $200. So all of those can adjust. You can adjust your trading and adjust being in a trade for longer, even being in the wrong direction. And like I said before, if you're in a trade and you're just fully in on your full amount of contracts that you like to use, don't do that. start with something small. And then if it doesn't go your direction, but you still have the same bias on where it's going to go, add into your position to DCA into your position lower, dollar cost average into your position a little bit lower, and have your second idea, your plan B of the support or resistance that you're looking at be the next major thing that tells you, oh, is my bias really working or is it not? And if it does really work, then you will be in decent profit. Then just take wherever your take profit is, don't move that. Even if it continues to go in your favor, don't move your take profit, but continue to DCA as long as your bias is the same. As long as you still feel your bias is the same. But if it starts working against you, continue to have your stop loss in place so you're only willing to risk so much money. Like if you go in with one MNQ, I'm gonna make this as simple as I can. If you're going in with one NQ and your stop loss is 10 points, okay, that's $200. If you go in with five MNQ, your stop loss is 20 points. Okay, so let's say you go in with five MNQ and you are now at a 10-point stop. Like you are already down $100 from 5M and Q. But your bias is still showing you, and there's still a great support there for your long entry that it's going to go up. And you're used to using one NQ. You can either add in two MNQ, three MNQ, four MNQ, five MNQ, whatever you'd like, whatever you feel comfortable with. You can add that in at your at the stop loss that you usually would have for one NQ and instead play it with adding in your DCA. That way, your dollar cost average comes down, and you can also play it for the bounce or the rejection, whatever you're looking for. That way, you don't have so much skin in the game. You can still be wrong, but still overall be right and still average into a better position, even though you weren't, because we're not going to get perfect positions here. Every time that I've taken a trade today, I didn't get a perfect position. I was either up or down. I think there's one position I got and it worked really well, but the other positions I was down two, $300. Then it went back in my direction. So you need to kind of formulate what makes the most sense. And I hope that the Pine script that I have up, the Pine script that you guys can access, will give you better ideas of where things are gonna go, and not where they're going to go, but where you could have an if then statement at. Like right now, like if this candle doesn't break this 15-minute, then where could it go? If it doesn't break this 15-minute resistance right here and go back up to the hourly, where do you think it's going to go? You think it's going to go down to the 4 hour, then break down? I don't think so. I think it will go down to the 4 hour and bounce, depending on what the setup looks like. Like if we had a parallel channel coming down here and we're bouncing around. Here's the 15, here's the hourly. Now we're coming back down. Now the 15-minute is resistance. We come back down to the 4 hour and we bounce. We bounce again here. I don't think, unless this 15-minute is actually super fucking strong, which it was a resistance, then broke out. Remember, resistances turn into supports. So if this came down, and this would be the best entry for your first entry. Now, if it doesn't hold here, I wouldn't even enter, and I wouldn't even enter here. I would wait for the next major support, which is the hourly. I would wait for that to come in and bounce off of here and break the 15 again, then potentially taking profit at the next 4 hour. That's what I would do. So you just got to wait for your levels. I try to make it as simple as possible by color coding them and giving that kind of idea of a steel, brick, cardboard, and paper wall. That's the best. That's the best idea of thought that I can have to give you some visuals. Um, the risk is 5 to 1. So, Ali, basically with Apex, which there's a lot of really good traders on Apex because they're very disciplined. With Apex, oh shit, I think my neighbor's coming over. With Apex, they allow you a 5 to 1. So they will allow you to risk, like for $100 profit, your risk is going to be $500. So that's what they allow. Other people like to do 1 to 5, so they're only going to risk 100 to make 500, which is very difficult because the risk parameters are just not that great. because it wicks so much, so it's hard. So having a it's just the rule that I have to follow with Apex. I'm not saying do that, but that's just the rule I have to follow with Apex. And if you guys trade with a firm like Apex, you're gonna have to follow that rule. Your risk to reward has to be like that, which is okay. But a lot of other people like to do 2 to 1. Like they'll risk 100 to make 200. That's what they like to do. Also, like today, I was short biased from the pre-market downtrend and then holding 3 bad shorts, resulting in a blown account. Any tips on changing market direction bias? I don't like to reverse my ideas because 90% of the time it hurts me flopping around. The market switches up, I have a hard time changing the market. Omo, you basically just need to continue because remember I earlier in the day, I think I was talking about a certain, I don't remember where it was. Oh, it's way back here. Wait, sorry, I think it was on my MNQ actually. Yeah, it's on my MNQ. So we were in this box, Omo. Um, I think this was the area that you were shorting in, right? Or was it earlier? That was it at 11 all day. Um, yeah, I think this was one of the areas where you were like, man, I hope it comes down. I don't remember what your entry was. Um, but you just need to respect the levels. Yeah, but yeah, under 300. That's right. You're in 300s. So where were we at there? I thought I had a box drawn. Was that for NQ? Yeah, it was this area. It was this area. It's right here. Okay. Yeah, so you were in a short in this area. And I'm pretty sure I was telling you 344, 344. If it breaks, it can shoot. And that's exactly what you just got to respect your levels. If then statements. If it does this, then this could happen. So you could have taken you could have got out, like you said, I think it was down here, 277. I think you're in at 278. Um, yeah, you reopened the shorts because you weren't being patient. You were shorting an up channel that wasn't breaking, and we had no resistance above. So you need to continue to watch your resistance. You need to continue to watch these respected lines because these lines, yeah, they are just plotted with the pine script, but at the same time, look at how well they work. Like you can't get me wrong. These aren't working. These aren't working in your favor. Consistently working in your favor. Yeah, they can be a little weird sometimes, but that's just consolidation. But you're looking at previous resistance to the left. Like this and this, these two resistances, this and this, further. Okay, well, we did break down there, and this was a resistance here. But do you see what happened at these previous resistances here? Yeah, we broke down hard. We wicked up, broke down hard again. But what happened when it tried for a third time? When it tried for a third time, it just skyrocketed. It went nuts out of that. So it gives me higher conviction that if we continue to test, not that far, well, either way, if we're looking at any place, the resistance turns into support when it tries enough. And considering that we had a rising channel here that we can't shorten yet because nothing was happening, which honestly, I think I shorted this area. Man, I don't even know where I shorted at. I don't see my execution on here. But this area, this 344 was so impactful that if we started to even do anything weird around this, I would have just exited my position. Yeah, this is where because you weren't being patient. You weren't viewing the chart how you should have been viewing it. First off, below it, we have a 4 hour support. Then what is this? If I take this line, this, so we have a 4 hour support right here. And if we bounce off a 4 hour support and we have an hourly resistance after that, if we bounce off a 4 hour support, I would be holding along. If my conviction was there, I'd be holding along. Plus, you can see we had a turn here on the 1 minute on the stochastics. Then it just kept creeping up. The orange line wasn't facing down. I don't know what it was on the 5 minute, but we bounce off this 4 hour Yeah, start using the script. We bounced off the 4 hour, and then we had a 15-minute there. What's more powerful, a 4 hour or a 15 minute? And what's more powerful than a 15 minute? The hourly. So if I were to take a long here, or if I were to short here, I'd be like, fuck, like we're not even we're not even breaking this. Like, what do I do? Well, I'm gonna either have my stop loss at 344 or at some type of leg down candle just to see if I can possibly it just rejects and breaks this. But the idea behind this is that this was resistance, resistance came back, resistance turns into support. We got a hammer candle right here. Hammers, we all know that hammers are very bullish. 1 minutes they're a little bit less powerful, but they're bullish. Secondary, we had a huge spike after that, and we came right to 344, try to reject it, not a big rejection candle, then we just spiked out of it. So if we're going to break this 344, this 345, 346 area, the next 15 minute, then our next prediction that we can have more of like a 70-30% chance on, or 60-40, however you want to feel it, is our hourly. So if I were to take a long down here, or even in this box, if we were getting close to breaking this 15 minute, I probably would have taken some contracts off here long and then held some contracts to the next hourly resistance. That's what I would have done. But you gotta, yeah, well, you can't just expect. You gotta have an if then statement, because if what happens is there going to be a spike down. Like what was telling you to short? What was telling you to hold on to that short? Was there anything there telling you like, okay, like in this area, oh shit, this is gonna drop? Like, yeah, we could have chopped. We definitely could have chopped around, but the market was, I think this was the 11 o'clock candle. Yeah, this was you also have to know your timing. So 11 o'clock, liquidity stepped in. So we had a huge liquidity spike when we stepped in here right at 11 o'clock. And the top of the hour, they can have some major moves. The top of the 15 minute, the top of the 30 minute, they can all have some pretty decent sized moves because liquidity is waiting for time. They're waiting to take action at a certain time frame. That's why I'm like river stop. Um, that's why like when I'm waiting for like a 5 minute candle to close, and I'm like, well, I'm just gonna wait for this 5 minute to close. I'm gonna see if we get a rejection or a bounce here. Sometimes it happens a minute or even 30 seconds before that candle closes, and then shit happens. I'm just like, damn, I was waiting. I was really waiting for that, but it happened right before it because they know people are waiting for a certain time. Here at the 11 o'clock candle, they did a great job pushing that up right at 11 o'clock. That was literally right at 11 o'clock. They pushed it. Let me see if there's more. What up, Toomey? Is Toomey in here? Yeah, Toomey's in here. Uh, just gotta give the shrimp once in a while. Allegedly, she likes it. How much was I invested before became profitable? That doesn't matter, but I'll tell you. I mean, I've been trading a lot of money. I've been for a long time. I started with cryptocurrency, and I was trading with 40,000 in Bitcoin back in 2016, and um, held that. We hit it like 80,000, and then in 2020 I started trading it. I took half of the Bitcoin and I traded up to 240,000 in 4 months. It was like October to August. Oh, wait. August to October. Yeah, August to October. Took me 4 months to turn 40,000 into 240,000. Um, but I've been trading for with a lot of different ways for a while. I mean, I started that other account with 8,000 and got it to 300. I did have some losses in it, but moved it to 300,000, and now I'm trying with Apex to see if I can have less risk and make more money. So we're gonna see. But it doesn't matter how much I'm invested or how much I've lost or made. What matters is the time on the charts, because you don't have to lose anything to educate yourself on the charts. You don't, I mean, emotionally, it's going to be harder because once you start investing your own money, it gets a little bit more difficult. But um, like paper trading will never give you the same feeling as real money because there's a lot on the line. But you can at least understand your setups and have less emotion towards a good idea that you might have. So it just depends. Shown, yes, I'm buying downtrend channels depending on the support and resistance in an area, and I am shorting on rising channels depending on support and resistance. Just depends. And when did that happen? At 720. Uh, at the risk of making this a Stoke conversation, you can always use the TP stop loss level and confidence in the stop loss. Take profit off top of Stoke range resistance, stop loss below support or stochastic. Yep, I feel that. I'm not trying to make it into a stochastics conversation because first of all, I didn't make money with the stochastics. It's just is trying to help me with the timing. But to make it super simple for all you traders, to make it as simple as possible, just wait for your setup. And I'm going to continue to trade and show you this setup and give you different setups in between, depending on the type of day we're having. But my number one setup is parallel channels. Learn them. You can look them up on Google. People use them all the time, but I use them in confluence with my Pine script. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It feels like 70% of the time it works. And when it doesn't work, I either take a decent sized loss or I'm smart enough to have a stop loss or a mental stop loss in place to kill it. It just depends. It really just depends. What else you guys got for me? Are you waiting for a signal bar confirmation to enter or just enter based off levels? I'm literally just waiting for entries based off of levels. And I wait for usually two confirmations. I am trying to implement the stochastics with what I'm trying to do. It's a little hard because it's just a lot going on, but I wait for like I wait for just my setup to happen. So a lowering channel, this isn't the best setup because this is a 15-minute right here that we're breaking out from. But we did come down, tested the daily, broke back up. Let me see if I can find it over here. So over here, it's a little bit better, a little bit. This is still a 15-minute, and we are trading after hours, so I don't really like trading too much after hours. Sometimes I will. Yeah, like yesterday I did, but it's not my favorite time to trade. It is a little bit slower, but that also means if you're in a loss, it's going to take a longer time to be back in profit. So, and that just makes me anxious. I don't want to look at my phone or look at my computer for 2 hours waiting for something just to go in my direction a little bit. But yeah, I basically just wait for support resistance, depending on the color of the line, depends on the strength of that line. And it doesn't necessarily mean that that line is super strong. It just gives me a better idea of the picture I'm putting in my head. That's all I'm trying to do. Is just give myself some imagery so I can have some type of walkway to see in my charts, trying to see the path. It's just like putting a little bit of light in the dark to understand what you may or may not see. Because you might be outside and it's dark outside and you have a flashlight on, but you didn't see that there was a person standing off to the left of you because you didn't have your flashlight in the right spot, or your light isn't bright enough. You can kind of see a person. I don't know. You got to think about it in different types of ways. I'm not going for a certain specific R and R, no, but I am following the 5-to-1 rule on Apex. So five X loss in comparison to 1X profit. My exits though are specifically my targets are these support and resistance lines specifically. So like for example, how we're moving here, I mean, this 15-minute isn't very strong. So if I did get this breakout bounce here, if I did capture that, obviously my first take profit would be this hourly, 919. My first TP would be 919. If I was feeling risky, I would hold a runner, and my next take profit would be this 927. My next take profit. And my final take profit, if I was being super, super risky, would be going for the daily. That's only if I was feeling real risky or I was if I was sized very small. Like if I was trading 3 MNQ, I would take one off here, I would take one off here and let the next one ride. Because even if we come back down to my entry, I'm still profiting. Still in profit. No matter what. Maybe not as much, but I'm still in profit. And if I'm thinking that this line's gonna hold and I want to hold that still, great. But I probably wouldn't. I'd probably start cutting it at the hourly if we saw it broke down like this. So just use the lines and get some visuals. that the red line is a steel wall, the purple line is a brick wall, the oh sorry, red line's a steel wall, the orange line is a brick wall, the purple line is a cardboard wall, and the green line is a paper wall. I mean, I can change it if you guys want me to instead of the daily for 1 and 5 or whatever or 15. I can change it if that helps you. But I just like having it on that time base, so it just helps. It helps me. Yeah, implement the script. It might help you a lot. I mean, it's helped me a lot because before I had the script, I was doing everything manually. I was going through the daily, the 4 hour, the three, the one, and plotting wherever it was bouncing or resisting, then labeling it, then going all the way back through it again and deleting lines that weren't too important for me anymore as I zoomed in. I just wouldn't do it. I mean, I would do it and it would take me hours. Then I would wake up the next day and be like, okay, I plotted everything, but the market just moved overnight. Fuck, like now it's over here, and I got to replot my lines and I got to readjust everything. I mean, I would keep some of my lines, but I'd be like, okay, well, I only have so many lines that I can really understand. But now this is thanks to one of our members in the group. He helped create this so the data updates by itself. Because usually you'd have to put in the data high, data low, day high, day low, but now it just updates on its own. So it's super nice. Yeah, Omo, like that's the thing. Like $77. I mean, that's cool, but it wasn't worth your time. Was it worth the headache? Yeah, I don't think so. Lower volatility like this as well. You can trade bigger contract sizes if you want to with lower volatility like this, but during the day, always cut your volatility down. Always. Do not have a high amount of liquidity or a high amount of contracts. You see with me, like I'm doing 112. So 112 divided by 14. So I'm doing 8 MNQ at a time. Now consider my balance is 12,000 in my account on each Apex account. So it's different for me, but I'm only using 8 MNQ. I'm not even using a full NQ contract. Only time I'm adding more risk is when I'm still having the same bias, but I'm just adding into DCA down. So I know some people don't like DCAing because they feel like it's counterproductive. But in a market like this, it's very productive. It's higher risk every time you add because you can lose double, but it helps you get a better average. So if you feel like DCAing is not for you, try it, but try it with lower contract sizes. Just do one MNQ at a time and test it. One MNQ, then it drops 20 points. Do another MNQ, then you now are down 10 points. So if it jumps 20 points, now you're up 10 points instead of being down 20 points and waiting for 20 points to come back. So you can easily do it like that as well. It's a very risky thing to do, but I make money doing it. So I'm just trying to teach you guys how I do it. What else do you guys got for me? What else? What else? What else? Is everything making sense to you? Do you guys feel any type of shift in your brain? I'm not counting on it because look, I'm not stupid, but I'm definitely retarded. So you gotta keep me at it. Yeah, three. I'm a three. I'm a three talking to y'all threes. I'm a three and I might be talking to a lot of ones. I don't know. Sometimes my perception's wrong. So the script is based off the highs and lows of higher time frames. Daily low, daily high is a 4 hour based on the curve. No, so shown. That's what I'm saying. So the daily high and the daily low are there. The daily high, daily mid, and the daily low are they're all there. Everything else is created based off the daily high and the daily low. Everything else is created. So that's why I'm telling you the the candle time has no significance to the actual 4 hour, 1 hour. It has no significance. The reason why they're labeled like that is because that's just what I came up with. Um, but I could basically change these to steel wall high, steel wall mid, steel wall low, brick wall high, brick wall 4 hour low. um, cardboard wall high, cardboard wall mid, cardboard wall mid low, and then cardboard wall low. Same thing with these. Paper, 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 paper. They don't have to be labeled 15, 1 hour, 4, and daily. Which honestly, the more I talk about it, the more I want to change it. So I might do that. It's not going to be hard. I can edit it right in the Pine script. I can just change the names. But um, yeah, I mean, I can change that if you feel that it doesn't make sense to you, because I get that question a lot. But that's pretty much how I see it. If it's a higher time frame, it's more significant, it's stronger. It's pretty much how I just base it. It might be kind of childish. Yeah, think of it like a fib. Yeah, exactly. You can. It's not the exact retracements, but sometimes the Fibonacci's work hand in hand with these lines, like the 618 or the 50%. They work pretty similar. Yeah, not exactly the same, exactly. These are all 50% of each line. So each direction, each section is 50% of the next one. Yeah, exactly. Damn, it's already been an hour on here. Um, was it 1 or 2 years before I became profitable? Well, I've been doing this for 11 years. When I first traded, I traded a pharmaceutical stock on Robinhood. That was awesome. Felt like a miracle. It was the first day I traded, 1,000 bucks into 2,000 some odd. Ended up losing, taking out 17 or 1,800. I can't remember exactly because so long ago, but um, like in the 2020 market, I mean, I've been profitable, but I've also had some serious losses. Um, in the 2020 market, like I was trading GameStop and BlackBerry, things like that, and I made 22,000 on BlackBerry off of an options play. Then I made $86,000 off of GameStop buying the stock. Then the very next day, I lost all of the money from GameStop in one trade, trading Tesla, all of it. So there's a give or take here, and that's because I wasn't as educated as I am now with trading, more sensible to what I'm trying to do. I was just kind of like, wow, I made all this money. It was so easy. I'm going to do it again and again and again. But it's not like that. You got to humble yourself in one way. Yes, 50% deviations from the daily. Omo, yeah, the higher the time frame that you go on, definitely. Like I'm saying, like I said before, if you're using a higher time frame, so if you're using the 5 minute, you're going to be holding the trade for 5 minutes. If you're going for the hourly and you're seeing some type of crazy like you're seeing the setup on the hourly, which I never use the hourly for a setup because it just takes too long to form. Um, but like let's just say like you saw some crazy shit on the hourly. Let's see if we can draw one on the hourly. Let's say you saw this starting to break out on the hourly and you were like, man, here's the daily, the mid of the daily, and you're like, wow, this is looking, what time is this at? This is at 1 a.m. though. So this is right before London. And you were like, wow, this is nice. Like you could possibly grab that like on the hourly, but you'd be holding for an hour at least. So you won't really get a whole bias because of this market being so Twitter friendly, like being very news driven, and emotional within its own. It's hard to be bias for one day because your bias might be, oh my God, this thing is gonna be shortable all day. Look at this shit drop. Then n the morning comes and it just runs. Like this is you almost can't have a bias. You don't want to have a bias. You just want to do intraday trading. That's all we're doing. We're trading during the day. I'm not a swing trader. Yeah, you probably saw this and you're like, holy shit. Finally a red day. God damn. This shit's gonna go. Like this shit can really go to 18,000. Like, damn. So much selling pressure. But you gotta realize when there's this much selling pressure behind something, if everyone's doing the same thing, it's gonna potentially go the other way. Now, also understand this. I'm sure people that are super fucking rich off of being on Wall Street and trading stocks their whole lives, or if you would talk to an 80-year-old man that's been trading for his whole life or been investing, you'll never hear him say, "Yeah, I got rich off of shorting the market. I got rich off of that shit." Like, you're only going to hear a few people say that. And if you ever hear anyone say that. So, shorting is the epitome of making money. The money is really made buying all the dips that you can. Now, you can get caught up in buying a stupid dip. Like if you bought the dip here and then you were dropped another 200 points, that sucks. But you can see these red days are not even comparable to the green days. And this shifted during the day. This is this run up was insane, to say the least. It was insane. But even with these down days, like all of this red, look at the green in comparison. Look at the difference in that. It's completely different. I mean, it actually might be the same type of measured move. But at the end of the day, the green is way higher than the red every single time. We have a rundown, we get a huge push up. Rundown, huge push up. So 20% of your trading should be shorting. 80% of your trading should be longing. Just should be like that. And if you're shorting more than longing, which I tend to do, you're waiting for the wrong setup. You you need to get your mind out of the way of like this is too high, this is too expensive, this is going to come back. It's you don't even want to think that way. You just want to think on the grand scheme of things is that I'm a intraday trader. I trade during the day. I trade intraday price action. We don't care if it's going up. We don't care if it's going down. We're just taking the setup and we're leaving. That's it. There's nothing more to it. If you have a bias, you may fail. If you continue to hold on to a bias, your bias can be good for 5, 10, 15, 20 an hour. It can be good, but that bias can get shattered in the next candle. So don't continually hold on to one thought. Don't marry your trades. You want to stay um um what is the word I'm looking for? Uh Flexible. Stay flexible, fluid. There you go. Yeah, like water. Yes, like water. You want to be able to move both directions whenever you can. Because this looks like, I mean, if you're just like, man, it's going up, it's going up, it's going up, it's going to keep going up. The next thing you know, you're in a rising channel. Let's see. You're in this rising channel, and you're not realizing that we're breaking the rising channel with a daily resistance. We're getting these weird wicks here. Yeah, it can push back up, of course, but this could also break back down. Come back to the hourly, 4 hour. Anything can happen here. So you gotta stay fluid. Yep, it 100%. This market is heavily manipulated. Nothing makes sense. Just when it doesn't make sense, don't question it. Don't even question it. Just go with the flow. Don't question anything. Don't be like why? Why does it keep going? I've lost money that way. Asking why. Why does it keep pumping? Why does it keep going? The hell's the pullback? Why does it keep going? There's nothing good. Like today there was Microsoft earnings, which I think they did really well. But it's like, why does it keep going? Like, don't question it. Just trade it. There's no questions that you can ask because the market isn't going to give you an answer. The only answers you're going to get is if you trade your plan and you make money. Yes, we trade what the chart presents us. You don't want, well, that's where you're screwing up, Omo. You do not want to question. Don't question it. You can question it after news comes out. And if it's the opposite way, sure. But you don't even want to question that because the news might be bad, but the market goes up 500 points. Happens all the time. Don't question it. Don't be wondering because then you're going to be filling your brain with information that doesn't need to be there and you're going to get conflicting thoughts on your trade. Yes, exactly. Exactly. You just got to let the market do its thing. There's literally no, it makes no sense. The market in whole is stupid, but we trade it and I will go with the stupidity. I will trade as dumb as I can in order to make the dumbest money that I can. I'm okay with it. I don't need a reason. What else, y'all? Yeah, I mean, you can be in control for what you can control. Like, if you have your setup there, you can control that setup. Like, okay, let's just say we're seeing this rejection off the daily, breaking the parallel channel, rejection off the 15-minute, but we're bouncing on the hourly. Okay, so you're thinking, maybe I can short this. The only way that I would be interested in shorting this, because we have such a strong support here, is if it breaks this support. And if it holds under that support, I'd be more willing to get into a short around 19.23, which we're trying to do right now, and hold it to 19.16, which is a 6, 7 point move for us. Okay, great. But I would take off half my contracts here and then see if it pulls back to 19.08. That's the only thing I can control. I can't do anything else. If it goes against me, my stop loss would be probably the high of the day, or maybe even the wick of this candle, of the previous candle. That's the only thing I can control. So that's the only thing that I care about is this little section. That's all I care about. Everything else, it doesn't matter. I just care about my support resistance, my my channels, and what I can control within this section of the market. Because you can make a lot of money in little sections of the market. Like right now, this looks like a good short opportunity. I'm not saying go short. I'm saying it looks good. I don't like the volatility right now because there is no volatility. It's very minimal. Plus, we have a lot of buying pressure behind this. So, will they take profits? I don't know. But if this was during a live market, like during the day, I'd be more keen on taking a short here because we are breaking this hourly. But honestly, I probably want to wait and look at the 1 minute because on the 1 minute, we're holding the hourly as well. Exactly. Like the guy with 14 Apex accounts. No, this is based on the current day high and low. It'll adjust if it breaks out. It'll adjust. At that point, you have to start creating new lines. At that point, you have to start um, trying to understand what happened in the previous day and what could be a rejection or support zone. So the lines will update. Now, look at this. I want to show you guys something. So you see how this 5 minute looks like it was trying to break that 1 hour? We have the yeah, the V3 auto adjust. Um, but you see how that I was like, okay, well, this is looking good to short on the 5 minute, but look at the 1 minute. The 1 minute is bouncing off the hourly, where the 5 minute looked like it was rejecting, but you go down to a lower time frame, and that 1 hour is actually bouncing as support. Like it's as simple as that. Look at multiple time frames to see what's going on. Yes, it looks like it's going to break down. Yes, it looks like that. But now when I've got more data and I'm looking at the 1 minute, you can see it's bouncing. Also, you can see the stochastics. Look at that curve. Look at that cut. Stochastics even turned on us. And it was looking ready to reset. We weren't all the way down at the 20s. We were at the 20s. So it was looking ready to reset. Plus we have a support here. I mean, our 5 minute was looking kind of like it was trying to break down, but at the same time, we have so much buying. Wait, what? Yeah, Oma, the V3, you gotta have the old script and manually change it. The advertising doing the V3. Or only pay attention to once the daily highs and lows form. Yeah, I just use. I mean, you can change. You can definitely go back to the V2 script and just put in the daily high, daily low of the previous, and you can auto manually adjust it if you like that for sure. I really enjoy the V3. It's awesome. It's great. It works really well. I was trying to see if for back testing. Yeah, I feel you. But yeah, do you guys have any other questions or concerns um that I can cover? So I used the market replay from yesterday. It won't auto adjust. Will that play through the day? Yeah, I've never used the auto replay, so I'm not sure. No. He says no. How do you even use that? Oh, replay. Okay. How do I do this? I don't even know how to use this. How the fuck do you? Oh, yeah. No, it won't. It won't work. Well, I mean, it has the adjustments for that previous day right here because if you scroll out, it constantly has the high and low of the day. Oh, NinjaTrader. I don't know. Is the script working on NinjaTrader? Someone made one, but I don't know if it works because I don't use NinjaTrader. All right, how do we get out of this thing? Okay. You want to exit? Yes. All right, I'm gonna stop recording here. Um, but I mean, it's as simple as that. I really hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm not going to end the stream yet. I'm just going to end the recording, but I really hope you guys enjoyed that. That's a little bit of the information out of my head that I can give you right now. I can come up with other things to talk about. But psychology is consistently changing. And the market's consistently changing. Your psychology needs to be on point. You need to have discipline. You need to have proper risk management. You need to have the biggest thing, if then statements. Why do scientists use that? Why do they make hypotheses? Why do they do that? It's because they want to see what happens and see if that outcome happens. It's tested in medicine, it's tested in uh, everything. Cars, planes, boats, animals, reproduction, people, birth. It's if then statement. If this happens, then this will happen. If this happens and it doesn't happen, then this will happen. If then statements. Try it out. Write it down. Put it on the wall. Write it in your notes. Whatever it is. You need a if then statement. If this price does this, then this will happen. If price holds the hourly, then it could break the 15. Then it could hit the daily. What's going to happen? If then statements. Just continue to get on those, and you'll see a big difference in how you trade. And you'll be willing to take less trades because you're going to be like, wait a minute, this isn't the setup. This isn't it. This is harder now because my setup's not here, which is fine because it's harder when you're losing. So make it holy shit. Did I just see that? Damn. They're really going for the 20K. Wow. 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 And like I was saying, man, the 5 minute was looking good to short, but the 1 minute wasn't in line. And look what happened. A seeker. I guess so. Possibly. But if you have anything you connect to it, like a Tradeovate or a Webull or something that can connect inside of your trading panel, then connect it and you'll get data. You have something. But damn, what was that spike? That was that a liquidity grab? Because god damn, that was crazy. All right, y'all. Well, I appreciate you being here. I'm gonna stop the recording here.